Hello, good evening. The former head of Lincolnshire Hospitals has broken the terms of a gagging order to speak for the first time about his concerns for patient safety. Gary Walker was dismissed from the United Lincolnshire Hospitals Trust in 2010. The trust he ran is now one of 14 under scrutiny after the inquiry into deaths in mid-Staffordshire. Here's our health correspondent, Vicky Johnson. Well, there's been a high-level development on this at Westminster this evening. Vicky Johnson is with me now. I believe a letter is going to the Health Secretary. Do we know what's in that letter? Changes to housing benefit will cause at least 13,000 people in East Yorkshire and Lincolnshire to lose hundreds of pounds a year. Dubbed the bedroom tax, it means those with a spare room will have their benefits reduced. There are nearly 1 million spare bedrooms across the country paid for by housing benefit, costing the taxpayer up to £500 million a year. But critics say families with disabilities will be particularly hard hit. Sarah Corker reports.
Well, Amy Cole is live at the factory in East Hull for us this lunchtime. Amy, what have staff said to you there today?
Ed, it's fair to say that the staff have remained pretty tight-lipped. This morning I was speaking to one woman whose mother has worked at the factory for 15 years and understandably she's very upset at the prospect of losing her job. Now, a 90-day consultation period has begun. Hull City Council says it's seeking an urgent meeting with 7Cs. The company says it's having to make the cutbacks because of tough economic conditions. Well, earlier the Employment Minister said that the government is under no illusion as to how difficult times are.
Well, it's still a big challenge, but of course employment in Yorkshire went up in this quarter. I was in Grimsby a couple of weeks ago, talking to the local job centre, talking to employers. There's a real sense of partnership there to try to tackle these problems. But we can't be complacent. There are still challenges out there, and we'll do all that we can to ensure we tackle those challenges. Our enterprise zones will help stimulate employment, but we're under no illusions about the scale of the challenge that we face.
Amy, the Minister said unemployment is down. The latest figures are out today. What do they show for the region?
Well, yes, indeed, it sort of reflects a national trend, actually. Unemployment has fallen by 9,000 to just over 250,000 in the Yorkshire and Humber area in the last 3 months. In the East Midlands, which includes Lincolnshire, it's fallen by 13,000 to just over 180,000. So positive news there, but very difficult for those who are on the front line of cutbacks.
Meanwhile, the Bishop of Lincoln is sleeping in a stable tonight to help raise awareness of the issue of homelessness. The Right Reverend Christopher Lowson is staying at a farm near Lincoln and he joins me now. Bishop, what a night to do this. Why exactly are you doing it? It's wet and windy outside tonight, but you're in a stable. Many rough sleepers don't get that luxury. You're not exactly rough sleeping. Good evening. Plans to charge 20% VAT on static caravans have been dropped by the government. Thousands of people in East Yorkshire work in the caravan industry and it had been feared the move could have caused major job losses. It's now expected a 5% charge will be imposed instead starting in April. Here's our business correspondent Paul Murphy. Well, the MP for Beverley and Holderness, Graham Stewart, joins me from Millbank in London. Mr Stewart, how much of a U-turn is this by your government tonight?
Well, I'm just delighted with this. We all know the mess the government inherited. They've got to challenge every area of tax. They've done that, but they've listened, and that's the big difference between the government that got us in this mess and this government. They've listened, they've heard the voices from across the country, from East Yorkshire in particular, and they've agreed that 20% VAT would be wrong, and I'm just thrilled on behalf of so many people whose jobs will now be safe.
But there might be a compromise. It looks like the 20% will be replaced with a 5% tax. Will you try to fight that as well?
No, I'm happy with that. I'm looking for a compromise with the government. Last Wednesday I met with the Chancellor, then the Prime Minister and then the Exchequer Secretary, and I was talking with them then about what would be acceptable. I also met with the representatives of the parks and the caravan manufacturers, and I think this is something we can all live with, and it shows that this is a government which does listen, even when dealing with the toxic financial legacy left by Labour.
Or does it reveal just how out of touch your party is with the electorate? I mean, this was not popular, was it?
Well, no, but then fixing a huge black hole left by the government that preceded us is not going to be all that popular, is it?
Well, I'm at Ella's big sister's house where for the past 7 weeks this has been the focal point of the Henderson-Roberts household. They've watched her week after week compete in one of the most high-profile Saturday night live television shows. However, sadly, Ella's journey has come to an end. But as I've been finding out, Peter, support for her here is still strong. Well, I'm joined now by Ella's big sister, Holly, and her two nephews as well, William and Charlie. Was it nail-biting watching the vote-off yesterday?
It was extremely. I think everybody was just so surprised to see the favourite two of the competition actually sort of, you know, be in the bottom two. So definitely, yes, it was very, very nail-biting indeed.
Have you been to London to see Ella much?
I have. Fortunately, I've spent a lot of quality time with her. The X Factor were kind enough to let us have a pamper session together and go and see a musical together. So it's been incredible sort of sharing that journey with Ella. It's been lovely.
And I just want to ask William, how do you feel about the fact that your auntie has been voted off?
Really sad.
It is a bit of a sad moment, but also quite surreal for you as a family, I guess, because you were telling me how you would watch the X Factor. You've watched it in previous years, and Ella's always wanted to go on it, and now she has.
Definitely. I mean, the Henderson fan, we've always been sort of fans of the X Factor. You know, it's been our Saturday night ritual from, you know, being young ourselves. So to see our own sort of little sister live on primetime TV on a Saturday evening and getting to go there as well and see it, it's just been amazing. It's incredible, and we're all so proud. We really are.
Well, Ella is due back to Tetney towards the end of the week, and she's also going to be preparing for the X Factor tour, which starts next year.